So I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kwadash, and double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone that have taught us this truth, and to include the elder bishops on down, and Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Brakatham to the elect of the household of this faith. And once again, it's your brother Laban, and I got some interesting stuff I want to go over. And Lord willing, this was interesting to you, this video, and it was edifying. So let's get right into it. I'm at futurism.com, as this article reads. AI zillionaires are starting to get scared as the public turns against them. Data centers have become a proxy for the hate towards AI and the concentration and accumulation of wealth it's creating. There's no doubt that the broader public has turned against AI in a serious way. In the U.S., a YouGov poll found that 3/4 of Americans think AI should be more heavily regulated. An anxiety shared across the political aisle. The U.S. populace is likewise increasingly fearful of the economic impact of AI, especially as powerful tech companies pour money into state and federal elections. And this right here just very well once again proves that there's no such thing as democracy. What it's really always been about has always been about money. You know, with money you can buy people off and get what you will, so to speak, especially the rich. And that's one way on how the rich get what they will. All right, by putting money in other people's pockets to do what they need these people to do. You know what I'm saying? As the saying has always went, money talks, bullshit walks. And it's so true. All right. Like case in point, let's just say you have enough money to have scum from the crime you've committed. All you got to do is pay certain people off that the judge knows, or you even pay the judge off. Right. And you have scum from the crime you've committed. That's all it really takes. Because the people that are well respected in this society are the wealthy, the rich. So it doesn't matter what kind of heinous crimes that they do, as long as they have the right connections and they have the right kind of money that speaks, they can get off scot-free. So, years ago, whether it was the bankers that elected these people, pre-selected these people, but now what we have going on right now is these tech giants that are taking over these politicians. Just like a while back ago, as I've mentioned before, and I'll mention again, before DJ Trump came in at his second term, currently as he's going through right now, a lot of money was being put in his pocket by Elon Musk, about hundreds of millions of dollars. All right, so there's a reason behind that, because these tech people are really the ones running the show, and they need these heads to do what they're told to do. These so-called heads, I'm going to say instead. All right. So as this reads, as that anger boils over, people are increasingly challenging their frustration towards data centers, one of the few tangible points of leverage ordinary people have against an otherwise untouchable trillion-dollar tech industry. The world's tech billionaires are taking notice, carving out distant island compounds and private jet fleets in case of revolution. Mark Cuban, who made his vast fortune during the dot-com boom, has publicly beefed with OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, is now warning his fellow moguls that the public's discontent runs far deeper than AI. Oh, absolutely. And, the AI is just as this article gives it away, right? As it reads, a proxy. It's just a reason for people to express their anger and their frustration. Okay, because what's really being had with people all this time, especially this generation that we're living in right now, they're being crushed financially. The economy isn't going along with them. It isn't supporting them, right? So it's gotten to the point where it's clear cut and dry that the rich are pocketing a lot of money. They're getting more wealthier while the poorer are getting poorer. And they're not getting their necessities met. It's difficult out here. Okay? And then they're finding out that their politicians are being funded by these tech giants. So now it's like, what kind of power do we really have here? Well, as always, as we've been telling y'all for as long as we've been on this internet, and many others too, that really people had no power to begin with. There was no such thing. Hence, you get the term yet again, democracy. There was no such thing as that. All right. So yeah, the man's right. Cuban is right. Whatever his name is, Mark Cuban. There you go, Mark Cuban. He's right. It's more than just AI. What it's going to end up becoming is the poor rising up against the rich. And this is all tied into biblical prophecy. And I have to read this now. And I'll get back to this article some more too. 2nd Ezra 15 and verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in the hand. So you're going to have class wars. You're going to have your race wars here and there and stuff like that. However, which is the main point, you're also going to have people rising up against the powers that be and all the rich. For there shall be seditions among men, uprisings, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings, nor prince, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. Right? So there's going to be a chaotic scenery, and this is what these devils want at the very top anyway, because they can use this crisis or many other crises to bring us to that one world system that they've always had in mind. All right, a dystopian world, so to speak, to aggravate us even more, or not even aggravate us, but to bring us under grief, under extreme grievance. So as this reads over here, as I found out, right, as the list goes, you have what, 4,400 to 5,400 data centers. The UK has 550 data centers. And the list goes on, as you can see. And these data centers are ginormous, by the way, just to include. So these data centers are taking over your waterways, are taking over these rural areas where your farmers need to be at, and all that stuff. But they don't give a shit because their New World Order plan means more than the economy itself. That's what they want to reform the economy with, overall. All right? And that's what young people in this generation are now realizing more and more, is that the powers that be don't have their best interests at heart. So what is it going to take? It's going to take for violence to ensue. All right? That's where it's all going, man. And remembering this situation over here, where you had a 20-year-old guy, I believe his name was Sam Altman. Yeah, it was Sam Altman. And, I guess he went to go down there and burn down his house or something like that, something along those lines. But I'll read it, because as I read this article, it'll bring it all back. So, yeah, as this reads, a drive of political violence. How the breakneck AI boom is fueling anti-tech extremism. Backlash against AI is taking an extremist turn following the footsteps of earlier techno-pessimist militants. When a 20-year-old man from Texas was arrested earlier this year for allegedly trying to burn down OpenAI's headquarters and Sam Altman's house, authorities found an anti-AI manifesto alongside his lighter and a jug of kerosene. It was one of a spate of attacks that has caused alarm among researchers in the tech industry and law enforcement about the rise of an anti-tech extremism. And also, too, as I'm reading this, the thought just came to my head that maybe this could very well have been a stunt to maybe pass laws and legislations for anti-tech extremism. Hence, you get the buzzword extremism, right? So that could have very well been the case, because these plutocrats, these tech plutocrats, they do got to be aware that one day people are going to rise up against them. And also people are going to also be resistant against this tech world. So whether it's to do with you getting a digital ID in the form of a chip, or you being plugged into the digital ID system somehow, some way, if people oppose all of this stuff, then they can pretty much arrest people or get people to be tried for such things or what have you. All right, that's probably going to be the excuse because of this situation over here, you know. And that's what Esau does. Esau comes up with these laws out of chaos. He uses these crises. Hence, you get the saying which came from the former prime minister of this country, which was Winston Churchill, which he said that let not a good crisis go to waste, because with a crisis you can bring legislation and or you can change the world. All right. So now let's back this up a bit, and we're going to read the scripture. Isaiah chapter 10 verse 5. His ways are always grievous, and thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. Exactly. And that's the point. The point is that his ways are grievous. Okay. And this man can't help but be a grievance to the planet Earth and everything that has life in it, because the spirit that's in him is not upright in him. And it's just as simple as that. So it means to twist, whirl, dance, rife, fear, tremble, travail, be in anguish, be pain. And that's what this man does. He twists things around. Whatever that thing which has its own nature, what is he going to do? He's going to twist it. And if he can twist any and anything, he will. If he's allowed to do it, he's going to do it. All right? Because that's just what he is only capable of doing. It's not going along with the nature that the Lord gave, but to twist things around to his fitting. And then to what? Also bring distress. I like this word as well. To be distressed. All right. So when we look up this word grievance, as we know what the word means, from the 13th century, state of being aggrieved, from the old French grievance, harm, injury, misfortune, trouble, suffering, agony, sorrow, from griever to harm, to burden. That's another word I wanna stop off at. You know, that's another word I can stop off at right here, because that's what he's about. He's about bringing that burden onto you. Now, I want to tie this in with Psalm 7 and also verse 16. His mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealing shall come down upon his own pate. Exactly, because everything that Esau has done is all been due. It's all been to do with violence. All right. Let's look up this word violent real quick. Yeah, violence, wrong, cruelty, injustices. That's this man all the way in through. He's all about all of these things. So with all of these things, it's gonna ricochet against this man. This man has shown no mercy to our people. He's created so many situations to pain people all around, right? Whether it's to subdue you economically, put you under the Monroe Doctrine, whatever which way Esau can, inflict harm upon you. That's what he's going to do. All right. And they're getting a kick out of the wickedness that they're doing. And this is why, as this article reads too, right? Congress just voted to track your web history. Bill Gates celebrates major step towards digital ID surveillance state. For years, critics of global digital ID agenda have warned that the governments would never simply announce the end of anonymous internet access. Instead, they predicted it would happen one small step at a time, and there's no such thing as a prediction. They already knew what they was going to do. All right. First, digital vaccine passports, then biometric identity verification, then age checks for your safety, then mandatory online identification to protect children. Finally, an internet where every search, every article, every video, every political opinion, and every website visit can be linked back to your verified digital identification or identity. So with that being the case, they can judge you accordingly to the internet activity that you've been involved in. So they can either determine whether you are okay for society and or not, right? And if you're not okay for society, then they can bring bring you down, bring your social credit score down, and based on what you look at and based on the things you talk about and you get into, is going to be based on your social credit score system. So if you have a low score, then you're gonna be in low places in their world. All right. So it's gonna be like China on steroids. Plus, this man needs to get the 6G activated for all of this to be done in effect, so that all of this live information and all of this digital identification stuff can work in live time. And plus, the chip gotta come in. All right. So that's the thing. So what they need is they need people to get into this tech. And that's why I believe personally, again, this situation was already set up so that they can come with this term extremism and connect it with anti-tech extremism. So if you ain't going along with the tech, let's just say they come with some tech and you got to go take that tech and you go against it, they could consider you a T. Which T-ism, extremism is, you could almost say it's the same thing. All right. So these devils, they're feeling themselves, man. They get it all together. And it's funny, to be honest with you. It's funny because they really believe and think that they're almost there to accomplishing their New World Order plan. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. And here's the point. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him. See? And shall rain it upon him while he is eating. And he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. Exactly. So right when they're about to fill their belly and they're about to get that last piece of steak, right? When they're about to eat that last piece of steak, that's when it's the minute they eat that final piece of steak down their gut, and everything's just going to be upset. And guess what? The people are going to rise up against this man, and it's going to be all hell breaking loose. Because it's not going to be as easy as 1, 2, 3, where people are going to line up and take the chip. Okay, yeah, you're going to have people that's going to line up and all of that, but you're also going to have a good, decent amount of people that's going to be rebelling against this devil. That's coming as well. And that's all I got to say with this. Giving all of the praise and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kwadash. And with that, I'm closing. Shalom.